Welcome to this video. This is David Soagude discussing the various procurement methods. Procurement in itself entails procuring services, goods and supplies for an organization. This can include government, third sector or NGOs. And procurement entails the various methods as follows. That is the open domestic bidding, open international bidding, restricted domestic bidding, direct procurement, and quotations. And those are going to be discussed by my group members in that order. Thank you so much.
My name is Hilary Mgara, and I'm here to discuss one of the procurement methods, which is open domestic bidding. Open domestic bidding is a procurement method whereby the Directorate invites sealed bids from eligible bidders for the provision of services and works. Under this type of procurement, bids are gotten at a fee, and usually this fee is determined by the committee or the procurement board. This type of procurement is done in accordance with the open domestic procedure, which is in accordance with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act 2003, which is usually open to all bidders. This type of procurement is open to both locals or domestic as well as international bidders. But in cases where the locals seem marginalized, we attach what we call marginal preference. This type of procurement is highly preferred because it gives equal opportunity or representation to all bidders, as well as competition, which is usually healthy, and there's also value for money. And it also puts in consideration the complexity of the requirements that the bidders are required to bring. Thank you.
I'm Joshua Biarohanga. I'm here to talk about open international bidding. Open international bidding is a procurement method which is open to participation on equal terms by all providers through advertisement of the procurement opportunity. It seeks to attract foreign bidders. I chose open international bidding because competition isn't effective without foreign bidders. There is value for money when foreign bidders are involved. Further, there is value for goods and services to be provided. And lastly, there can be bilateral agreements between countries over a period of time.
Emmanuel Mosoke Kasozi is my name, and I am discussing restricted domestic bidding procurement method that deals with the direct invitation of suppliers without open advertisements. Its main goal is to find value for money where the circumstances do not justify open bidding or open advertisement. The conditions that are required for one to use this method by the Act of Uganda is, first of all, the limited capacity of providers. If the providers are limited but have the capacity, so we have to invite those ones directly to provide the demanded or the required product or supply. The other reason is insufficient time. If the time does not allow for open bidding and invitation, which requires quite a number of considerable time to fulfill it, then we are advised to use restricted domestic bidding. The other reason is if it satisfies the estimated procurement threshold for cost, then it satisfies also restricted domestic bidding method. The other reason is that to consider national suppliers, people from the locality of the one seeking to provide the tender to these bidders. If it's to promote the local suppliers, so those are one of the reasons. Those are the reasons actually in the Act that provide the conditions to satisfy restricted domestic bid. Thank you.
My name is Nambi Alex, and I'm taking you through quotation procurement method. According to the DBA Act of 2003, quotation or proposal procurement method is a simplified method that compares price quotations of a number of providers. The quotation method shall be used to obtain competition and value for money where circumstances do not permit open or restricted bidding procedures. The quotation method shall also be preferred while procuring works and supplies where the time is insufficient for open and restricted bidding, and also where the procurement value does not exceed the threshold. Thank you.
I'm David Sawagude, discussing the direct procurement method as stipulated in the PPD Act of 2003. Direct procurement is a sole source procurement method for procuring requirements in exceptional circumstances where other methods are inapplicable. It is used to achieve efficient and timely procurement. The direct procurement method is used in various scenarios. Scenario 1 is during insufficient times, for example, under emergency situations. Scenario 2 is when you're dealing with the supplier supplying the same services, works, and services. Scenario 3 is when you're dealing with someone supplying the same nature of goods. Scenario 4 is when it's during the negotiation process, when you're left with only one option but you use the direct procurement method. Scenario 5 is when you're buying goods of value not above 5 million shillings. This method is very appropriate because it saves time, it ensures continuity of teamwork, of the technical support. It is also less cumbersome. It is very effective. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my group members, Hilary, Joshua, Emma, Annette, and I myself, David, the class president. I would like to re-echo that under procurement methods, there are thresholds that are followed normally when you are making orders or when you're procuring. When it's government ranges from 5 million, that is for micro procurement, to over 200 million or 500 million, that is the open domestic bidding. So all the methods they have mentioned or discussed in this video have thresholds. So whenever any organization is going to procure, it follows the thresholds as mentioned. And people should take precaution when handling medical supplies, because medical supplies have various thresholds that are very key to be followed while procuring. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe and watch. Thank you so much.